on a plane headed to Amsterdam, and my heart starts beating, and I'm wondering, what the heck am I doing? Why am I here? Who goes to Africa? Because they were invited by somebody they met on the internet. And my heart was racing, and I just was spinning. What should I do? What should I do? And I started stalking him on Facebook, thinking, who is this guy? What if he's lying? What if he just wants my kidney? What if I'm never coming home? So I devised a plan that I would just send my big suitcase to Africa. They could have it. I'd get off in Amsterdam, stay the week, and then when the plane came back, I'd jump on and go home and never talk about it again. Because where were my friends? Where were my family? Where were my sane people when I was planning a trip to Africa that started September 28th, and I left October 31st? These are the questions we should be asking ourselves. How good are our friends to hold your face and say, what are you doing? This is insane. Well, luckily nobody said that to me. So I'm on the plane to Africa, and I stayed on the plane. I got off in Amsterdam, and then I got back on the plane to Africa because I knew that if I stayed in Amsterdam, my life might never change. But if I went to Africa, I was pretty certain that my life would never be the same. So today I'm going to show you a few tips and tricks on how to find your Africa. Because when I was little, didn't you just want to go to Africa and work in an orphanage? We had these rich neighbors that were so nice too. I have to specify, I don't know why. Seems like you can't have one without the other. Just kidding. But they would go to Ecuador, to the orphanages, and I wanted to go so bad. But what I realized is my family of 10, in our small income, with my mom working at the dentist office to pay the dentist bill and cleaning the church to get lunch money, and I just knew I was never going to go to Africa. And so my heart got bitter, and I started judging them for going to Africa, for going overseas. And I thought, why can't they just do good here? I lived in Utah, and I thought, there's so many homeless people in Ogden. Why don't they do good here? And I started getting bitter and judgmental. So the first thing I want to teach you today is don't ever judge people for the good they do. We're all here with different gifts and abilities and desires and different things that get people motivated. So if you see someone doing good, cheer them on. Don't be jealous that you can't do it, and don't judge them for the good they choose to do. I think the world isn't going to hell because of the evil. It's going to hell because of good people judging other good people and sitting around and doing nothing. So that is the first thing I want to leave with you today. Well, I arrived in Africa, and I came back with both my kidneys, and I just promised myself that I would never complain again. As I sat with my friend's mom, with ants crawling around her, she slept on a foam pad about this thick, and I vowed I would never complain again. Sadly to say, I did pick that habit back up when I came home. But that's the second thing I want to teach you today is people are praying for the things that you complain about. So, the world needs more grateful people. It needs more thankful people. It needs more people who look out and see the good. Close your eyes. Everyone close your eyes. Okay, now when you open your eyes, I want you to look around and find all the red in the room. Okay, go ahead. Count how many red things. Red, red, red. Red. Okay, now close your eyes and tell me how many green things there are in this room. No one knows, right? Because what we were looking for was red. And so what I want to remind you today is that what you look for, that's what you're going to find. And if you look for the good in every situation, then your life will be completely different, and also those around you. So I got to Africa, and my friend had kind of set up a speaking tour, so we spoke to we went to the Rotary Club, and I spoke there, and we went to the orphanage. You know, when I picture orphanage, I picture like Orphan Annie, a big building with a mean lady and everyone being kind of like slaves. But I had no idea. You know what an orphanage in Africa is? It's one mom who cares enough to open her house and take in all the neighborhood kids. So I walked into a house with dirt floors, cement floors, foam pads for beds, and you know what? These kids were happy. They were so happy. And I just love, like, I can never get those images out of my head of people who have nothing. They have nothing, and they're grateful, and they're happy, and they look you in the eyes, and they smile. And that's what I want to leave with you today, too, is look people in the eyes. We have to start noticing people. We have to stop walking down a hallway of a church and looking the other way like the person you're walking by is not there. Because you never know what someone's hiding behind their smile or their scowl. And they could be all dressed up looking nice, but you know what? People are dying inside. You know, 8 out of 10 people are living paycheck to paycheck. If an emergency came, they have no plan for that. So think down your street. 8 out of those 10 houses are not okay. And do you know how hard it is to be nice when you can't pay the bills? Do you know how hard it is to be nice when you have a truck that costs $600 a month for a car payment, but you can't pay your kids' lunch money? I know what that feels like. I know what it feels like. And more people need to start noticing those around us and talking about it so that we can actually do some good. You know, we can put up this fake life, or we can actually get real and start noticing people. So long story short, I was in Africa. I walked the streets. I sat with people. I listened to people. We stopped and looked at the Lake Victoria, and there was a guy walking back and forth. And his job was to stop people from committing suicide. Because so many people would go to this lake to kill themselves. They employed a full-time person to walk back and forth and stop people. And today, people are committing suicide at an alarming rate. And that can be stopped. And it can be stopped by caring a little. And it can be stopped by noticing people. And it can be stopped by doing nice things for others and also saying yes when other people offer you kindness. And if you don't take anything away from today, just remember this. We have got to keep this circle of kindness going by saying yes when kindness is offered. Sometimes as a society we are raised to give, but to a fault. No one sat down and taught us the importance of receiving. But you know how the helper's high is actually a real thing. You kind of get a shot of adrenaline when you help someone. But what happens if you try to help someone and you get rejected? It makes you not want to be as nice next time. So the call to accept kindness when it's offered is almost greater than giving kindness. Sometimes something we receive isn't necessarily for us, but it's for the person we're about to see around the corner. We can be the connectors of all great things if we just say yes. Like once I said yes, someone offered me something, I can't remember what it was, and then I didn't need it. But right around the corner was someone who did. So don't underestimate the power of being a vessel from accepting something on one hand and giving it away on the other hand. So, how do we actually find our Africa? Step one is to find your demographic. You gotta go where you feel most alive. You know, if you put me in a senior care center, like, I feel so alive. I love old people. I love the elderly. I love sitting down with them. I love talking to them. I'm a granny nanny on the side. I love sitting there and visiting and hearing their stories. But if you put me in a daycare, my heart beats a little faster. My brain stops thinking as much because that's not my place. And the problem is we get in places that aren't our place, and so our soul can't thrive. So find your demographic. Is it elderly? Is it young people? Is it dogs? You know, like animals. Some people are people. So find your demographic and love hard on them, because the world needs more people who are alive and on fire. And the second step is to find your gift and accept your gift, whatever it is. I spent so many years trying to fix everything that was wrong with me. I'm like, this is wrong, I gotta get better at that, I gotta get better at that. But the moment that I realized like what I was really good at, and I just did it. Like, I love reading people. I love walking into a room, seeing that person that looks awkward or feels unwelcome, and going over and talking to them. Like, I want to make people feel welcome. Do you know people don't feel welcome? They don't feel welcome on earth or in their own skin. I want to tell the whole world that it's okay. It's okay that you're you, and that you think different, and you feel different than everybody else. It's okay. You're welcome here. And the world needs more people who know what their gift is, and they do it. You know, maybe it's technology, maybe it's smiling, maybe you have a good smile. Please don't waste your good smile, because so many people need to borrow your smile, and you don't lose it if you give it away. So please give away your smile. And the last thing is to do something where you are right now. When I had two kids back to back. In the month of October, they're the same age. For a month and 2 days, they're both the same age. So I was not in a state where I could just go to Africa or do these things, but I wanted so badly to do something to contribute. And so I called my sister one day and I said, what could I do for you that is like would really help you? And she said, you know, if I could get a gift card for $20 to Chick-fil-A once a month, where I could take my kids and just let them play, that would really change my life. I thought it would be like $1,000. $20. Do you realize that $20 could change someone's life? Something you're throwing away, complaining about, people are praying for. So please, just start now. Start small. Do something. Do something now with what you have and the people you love. And if we have more people doing that, we could light the whole world on fire. And we could light this world up. Because the world doesn't need any more fighters or haters. The world needs people who see people who care and are willing to do something, who are willing to walk out in their imperfection and do something. That's what this world needs. It doesn't need perfect people. It needs imperfect people who are willing to get up and go out, even when they don't feel like it. Remember, your kindness matters, and you never know what people are packing behind their smile or their scowl. So be nicer than you think is necessary. Thank you.